my opening up to this path really started on September 11th, 2001 at 9/11. And then, you know, it was a slow journey from there, but that event really shook me to my core and opened me up to a place of curiosity to start exploring. And I actually ended up in New York City about 3 weeks after 9/11. I was already scheduled to be up there on a trip, and they had just started letting planes get anywhere near there. And I flew actually into New Jersey. We were rerouted. But I spent extra time in New York, and I went down to Ground Zero, and I never really had a big spiritual experience, even though I was raised in some traditional religious teachings. And I went down to Ground Zero, and you know, everything opened up for me and everything changed for me. And when I came home from that experience, which was quite profound, you know, I think that's probably the first time I actually had an experience of moving into the different dimensions and into the different realms. In that, you know, in a nutshell, I was able to get past the barricades because I felt compelled to walk into the center, you know, where they were doing all of the clearing and the cleaning and the debris. And I felt so compelled to go in. I just walked past the barricades. I walked past the police. I walked past the hazmat suits, the National Guard, and no one saw me. And I got as close as I could. And, you know, there was a friend who was with me, and she followed me into this place. And when we got there, she just looked at me and she said, "Now what?" And I said, "I think I have to pray." And I had never really prayed out loud in my life other than, you know, the little prayers we're taught as children, you know, "Now I lay me down to sleep," and the food blessing and things like that. And as soon as I started praying, everything went silent. I could no longer hear the machinery, you know, everything that was happening around me. And then as soon as I finished the prayer, which really was praying for everyone who had been in the towers, everyone who had been affected by it, everyone in our country, everyone in the other countries, even everyone in the planes, and including the people who took over the planes. And the prayer just started coming out, and I couldn't really stop it. But as soon as I was complete with that prayer, it was like just suddenly everything snapped. I could hear sound again, and then someone saw me. And I was standing so close to all of the action that was going on. I don't know how they didn't see me, but I think that was my first experience of maybe moving into a different dimension to do spirit work, you know, to do this work. And then suddenly when it was complete, there I was, and they kind of chased me out of there. But I came home from that down to North Carolina and to Charlotte, and I had a lot of feelings of heaviness. And I never really understood what it meant, you know, what energy work was or any of that. And someone suggested to me that I was carrying energy that wasn't mine, you know, something that I had picked up being down there. And so she had suggested that I have a purification ceremony, which I had never heard of. And she explained what a sweat lodge was, a Native American sweat lodge. And so I found a place that was doing sweat lodges, and it was a 4-hour drive from where I lived. And I called them, and the most amazing man answered the phone, and he told me that he would hold a private lodge for me so that I could do that work. And